Okay. Another video. I don't know if I'm going to post this one, but this one's kind of just like a ramble, rant, opinion-based video. I've been getting a lot of TikToks or a lot of TikTok lives that are debating the existence of God, and I think it's funny and fascinating, and I think it makes me such a nerd for listening to debates at all. Because, like, is God real or not? I mean, yes and no. Like, because God is not an archetype. Like, how do I explain this? Okay, so God that is talked about so widely, like in Christianity, the God of the Old Testament is not God. That is a God, but it is not the God. It is not source. It is an archetype. Gods and goddesses are really just archetypes of our psyche. And the God that I think everybody mistakes for source is the God of the Old Testament, who is not loving. That God has an ego. That God is a jealous God. That doesn't make any sense. Like, how is that loving if God is a jealous God? Like, why would God allow bad things to exist? Well, it's because that God of the Old Testament, it doesn't exist. They're not all-powerful. They're just an archetype of what man thinks is God. And from what I've studied about Jesus' teachings, Mary Magdalene's teachings, is that divinity that we look for in the Old Testament God can only exist within. And it is our awareness. It is source. It is awareness of all that is. And, I guess some people choose not to believe that or see that, but that is their own prerogative. That is their own path of their soul, whether they want to be connected to that or not. However, we do see this awakening. It could just be me in my own little echo chamber on the internet, but we do see this awakening of people just questioning for something deeper, or seeking for something deeper, and that something is always going to return back to you. Like, that something it is you and only you. It is just your awareness. I mean, divinity does exist. It has to. We're speaking about it. We're referring to it. It has to exist. All things exist. If you can imagine it, if you can speak about it, if it can be referred to, it does exist. Like, what is it? The paradox of nothing? Think of nothing. You can't. Because nothing will always be something. Therefore, it exists. And I think that same kind of rule applies to things like gods, goddesses, angels, spirit guides, demons. Anyway, and I don't think that there's anything bad about believing in those things as long as it's not taking the power away from you and your own knowing, because your own knowing and your own attention and your own awareness is what makes them real, is what makes them exist. I personally do like to believe in the angelic realm. It's fun for me. I think I don't know, I think it's a very playful kind of thing to keep in my awareness. But I know that angels, they're just an extension of my awareness. Of all that is. They're just a child of all that is. Everything is a child of all that is. I am a child of all that is. You know, we hear we are a child of God. We are a child of all that is. That's what God is. All that is. Excuse me. But, you know, we hear God and then we think of, like, you know, this big guy in the sky, Sky Daddy, like pulling strings and orchestrating everything. And there's really nothing orchestrating us. Not even spirit guides, not even angels. It's just us. It's just your own awareness. And it's if something comes into your experiences where it's like, how did I manifest that? I didn't like that. Or, oh, that was weird. Or that was strange and irrelevant. It just is. It came out of all that is. And when you know yourself as all that is, you see it as a child of your awareness, of yourself. You can see it through the lens of divinity and not through any particular narrative, whether it be romantic or not, or romanticized or not. Anyway, it is as it is. Thank you for listening.